Big up, Joe. With the help of Joe Barton and the reps, we were able to proudly bring you the shortlist you see here tonight. But because we couldn't invite everyone here, I would like to take a moment to congratulate each and every staff member who was nominated.
The biggest and the most glamorous education event in Newcastle University's social calendar. And you've all risen to the challenge this evening. So, since the inception of the Tees in 2012, around 2,500 staff nominations have been received from students for these awards. You won't be surprised to hear that this year has seen the highest number of nominations to date, with around 440 nominations, 40 more than we saw last year. 2019 sees the introduction of a new category, the Student Choice Awards, and these allow students to create their own award categories. This is to ensure that students have absolutely every opportunity to recognise the efforts of staff in every area of work activity. The Tees are now so much an embedded element of the education landscape in Newcastle. It enables them not only to have an impact on those who receive them, but also in shaping and understanding what students value from their education, and also an understanding of those who deliver and support them in their educational experience. An excellent piece of work was recently conducted by a student intern working with colleagues in NUSU. And this was a piece of work which analysed and reviewed all of the 2017-18 nominations. And Johnny has mentioned some of the key themes that have emerged from that analysis. The report was recently presented to the University Education Committee, and it examined and identified some key themes that really do attest to the richness of teaching and learning as perceived and experienced by our students here in Newcastle. And I think for me, the most striking, but actually probably not the most surprising finding from that research, was a pervading reference to a pedagogy of care that our students are experiencing through their teaching and through the pastoral care that they're receiving. And I think that's something that everybody in this room and beyond in our academic community should be extremely proud of. So, well done to everybody. So, to this evening's event. We've already had a really enjoyable meal, a good chat with the people on our tables, but now's the serious business. And this is about you, our staff and our students. For students in the room and those students who have engaged in the Tees Awards by making nominations, you've acknowledged the significant contribution of the academic and professional staff that you've been taught and supported by. And I want to take this opportunity to thank our students, all of those students who've engaged, for taking the time and putting the effort in to do this. That is so much appreciated, I know, by all the staff members in this room. And so on to the staff. Staff have been recognised by their students for their contribution to teaching. Not just those in the room tonight, but also those who were nominated through the 440 plus nominations. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank each and every person who was nominated through this process. For those of you who have been shortlisted and are in the room tonight, the competition, I know, is fierce in all of the categories. And as there can only be one winner for each of the categories, even if you're not a winner tonight, you are a winner. because you should be very, very proud of yourselves for getting onto that shortlist for that award. So before I finish and we move into the stage of the evening where we start to make those awards, I'd like to thank Johnny Hall, NUSU Education Officer, for this current academic year, for all of the things that he's done in the context of enhancing the student experience, but particularly in the context of this evening for his stewardship of the T's this year. His thoughtful approach to their ongoing evolution will leave a wonderful legacy for his successor, Pablo, and no doubt also for our very first ever postgraduate rep, Karina. So finally, I'd like to wish everybody a really, really enjoyable evening. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Suzanne. So here's how the awards are going to work tonight. I will briefly announce each category and invite on stage various members of our staff alongside some of our students and sabbatical officers this year, who've kindly agreed to present the awards this evening. The students and SABs will speak about what representing students and recognising the hard work of staff means to them, and then they'll read out the nominees. They're then going to hand over to the member of staff to read out the winning nomination and announce the winner. I would then like to ask the winners to come up on stage to collect their prestigious teapot. The winners will have the chance to say a few words and wait just at the front of the stage, here for a few photographs with their presenters. We're also going to try something a little different this year. So could we please ask that after my closing speech, that each of the winners come up on stage for a group photograph. So before we start, I'd like to wish the nominees the best of luck tonight. Although we can only have one winner for each category, like Suzanne said, to get shortlisted at the top 3 or 4 is a huge achievement in itself. So let's have a round of applause for all those shortlisted. So, to present the first award for the outstanding contribution to feedback, I'd like to invite our Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Professor Julie Sanders, and my successor, Pablo Charo de la Fuente, to the stage.
Hello, thank you very much, Johnny. He has done an incredible job organizing this evening, so congratulations, Johnny. So I'm here with Julie Sanders, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, to present the T Award to Outstanding Contribution to Feedback. This award is given to a member of staff whose students feel has made them better and more confident as a result of their feedback. As a student, I cannot stress enough the importance and the impact that feedback has on students. Without feedback, I don't think that most of the students who will be soon graduating would have achieved their true potential here at university. Feedback is the key step of student improvement, and because of that, I would like to say to all the teachers in this room a massive thank you. We tremendously appreciate all the efforts of our teachers to help us progress at university. Today, we want to recognize those lecturers that have gone one step further, and for that reason, these are the nominees for this year for Outstanding Contribution to Feedback. Dr. Judy Murray from the School of Geography, Politics, and Sociology. Dr. Evangelios Kakariadis from the School of Mathematics, Statistics, and Physics. Dr. Carol Newman from the School of History, Classics, and Archaeology. And Dr. Michael Wolf from the School of Arts and Culture.
Thank you, Pablo. good evening, everyone. It's an absolute honour to be co-presenting this award with our Education Officer-elect, and a complete joy to have worked with all of our sabbatical officers this year, so special thanks to them. It's a really great event, this, and I know it does mean the world to everybody nominated. I think we've all, probably all, even elderly people like myself, can remember a moment when feedback, empathetic, constructive, caring feedback made a difference. Tonight's winner's been singled out precisely because of the care that they demonstrate in the feedback that they give, because they are, quote, always happy to help, and because they take real care to explain marking criteria, and that their dedication to their work has obviously really shone through and touched their students. And I think we all therefore very lucky to have this person on the team. The nominator actually said that they hoped that the recognition of this award would motivate the member of staff to keep up the great work, and obviously we hope that too, no pressure. The winner for outstanding contribution to feedback is Dr. Michael Woff.
Okay, hi. I've been mistaken for a student rep several times since coming in here, so it's nice to be handed something which isn't a leaflet for a freshers week night out or something like that. But yeah, I try. It wasn't that long ago that I was receiving feedback myself from members of staff across, various degrees and so on. So I know how important that sort of thing is. So I try and go the extra mile. I try and personalize as much feedback as I can. I'm glad that students have appreciated that. I know how important it is. And I want to thank Preslov for the nomination, which, having read it, is very kind, beautiful words put out there. I also want to thank head of school, Rhiannon, because until recently, I was on casual contract, and she went that extra mile to ensure that that contract was made permanent, which I think that department, that school as a whole is kind of, and in fact the university as a whole is leading the way in a way in which many other universities are still lagging behind in terms of early career researchers getting positions, so I appreciate that a lot. But thank you very much for the award. Cheers, guys.
Okay, so congratulations, Michael. Moving swiftly on then, our next award is for the Toad Supervisor of the Year. So could I please invite to the stage Dr. Christopher Eggett and one of our school reps who's involved in the shortlisting process, Manpreet Bagga.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Manpreet Kaur Bagga, postgraduate taught student representative for the School of Computing Sciences. I'm currently pursuing my master's in synthetic biology. I'm here along with Dr. Chris Eggett, who's a senior lecturer, deputy dean for postgraduate taught programs in the Faculty of Medical Sciences, and also the degree program director for Masters in Clinical Sciences. I'm honored for the opportunity given here today. Being a member of the Newcastle University Student Union provided me with an opportunity to work with the staff members and learn how a smooth workflow is maintained at various levels in a department by generating efficient solutions to the most challenging as well as simple issues. There's a lot of hard work and pain behind every success, and appreciating the same makes it motivational and inspirational. So that is the reason we are here to present the award for the Best Dissertation Supervisor for the exceptional guidance and support provided. We had a lot of nominations for the category, and the top nominees for the same are Ms. Zoe Cooper from the School of English Literature, Language and Linguistics. Dr. Adam Potts, Philosophical Studies. Dr. Heather Brown from Institute of Health and Society. And Dr. Laura Delegati from the School of Medical Education. So Dr. Eggett would be announcing the winner for the category.
Thank you very much, Manpreet. In their nomination, the student explains how something in the first year teaching triggered a meeting with this member of staff, and that led on to regular discussions between the student and the lecturer. These meetings, the student tells us, were key to the student's development through coursework submissions and into initiating various research ideas. Acting in a mentor role, the lecturer gave hours of their own time to guide the student into developing their own research interests. And I've extracted some of the words from the student's nomination, which was a significant piece of work. The student tells us that they gave me the space to prove myself when I needed it, also keeping me on course for a high mark, and in doing so, they really inspired me to keep working on my projects. At one particular meeting, they suggested I should attempt to present my work at a conference, and because of their support, I won a scholarship to present and gained invaluable experience. They helped me to apply for a research scholarship to further my ideas and pointed me in the right direction to find academic supervision. They pushed me to develop the ideas further. And on top of developing my interest and inspiring me to do well, they have always been there for me. They've pointed me to the support I've needed, they've pushed me to help myself, and they've led me to resolve my problems. The student tells us my university life would not have been the same without them. They deserve recognition for everything they do, and in particular for the ways in which they support their students both academically and personally. And so the winner of the Taught Supervisor of the Year is Dr. Adam Potts.
Wow, very intense. Hannes, that extra £50 is coming at the end of this. So, yeah, thank you very much. I think the awards are fantastic. I think, as we all know, when you're in the midst of the academic year, it's hard to know what you're doing is making some kind of impact. So it means a lot to be nominated. It means an awful lot to have a statement written like that by Hannes. You know, we've had lengthy conversations about philosophy, about academic life, and where you're going to go after. And it's great to know that's had an impact, because it's had an impact on me. And I think to be a good supervisor, you have to have a student who meets you halfway. So certainly Hannes has done that, and thank you very much. And yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, congratulations again, Adam. And now on a similar award, we've now got the Research Supervisor of the Year. So can I please welcome to the stage Maggie Rowe and Adam Azzi.
Hello everyone. I was going to say good evening, but I thought it sounded a bit too formal. I'm Adam Azzi. I'm the representative for the Institute and Cell of Molecular Biosciences, and tonight we'll be presenting the Research Supervisor of the Year with Maggie Rowe, who is the Dean of Postgraduate Studies in HAS. So the award tonight is close to my own heart. I'm a PhD student at the moment, and I sort of mused on the subject of research supervisors. So what I could come up with is some supervisors will micromanage you. Some supervisors are very rarely there. but I'm pretty sure that all supervisors will have a few home truths to tell everyone at one point or another. But the category, still on? The category tonight is for those supervisors that inspire. And for that reason, the nominees of this award are members of staff who provided outstanding academic supervision to postgraduate research students. The nominees are Professor Pauline Dixon from the School of Education, Communication and Language Sciences, Dr. Chris Hayward of the School of Arts and Culture, Dr. Anke Neumann of the School of Engineering, and finally, Professor Matthew Gorton of the Newcastle University Business School.
Thanks very much, Adam. I forgot my box, yeah. Thank you, thank you. Thanks very much, Adam, and thanks, Johnny, and everybody for this fantastic event. I've not been before, and I'm dazzled by the glamour of it all. Good working relations with a supervisor are vital to a successful PhD, as Adam, I think, has indicated. But this isn't easy. Every supervisor is different, every research student is different, and every relationship is unique. One of my own students said, doing a PhD is like a journey from uncertainty into certainty. Supervisors can facilitate this long process without losing the originality in research. That is why I do believe that the supervision of a PhD student is an art. Doing a PhD is difficult. Supervision is probably as difficult. And I think I've been asked often to describe the PhD student-supervisor relationship. Like all human relationships, it's uniquely intense. Sometimes it's being compared to a good marriage, which requires good communication, enthusiasm, ability to reflect, learn, keep perspective, and show enthusiasm, even if there's not much to be enthusiastic about. I would also suggest that the relationship needs to be based on honesty and integrity. A supervisor obviously needs to inspire, and we've heard lots about that, and this is what the T's are about. Supervisors need to support, build confidence, critical thinking, responsiveness, insightfulness, and many other attributes, including the ability to give and take constructive, critical feedback. And of course, we all need to live while people are doing these things. A good supervisor also needs to be tough, clear, kind, and generous. So what about the nomination of the winner in the category of Research Supervisor of the Year for 2019? The expectation for this award is that the supervisor has done all the things that we expect a supervisor to do, but has actually gone an extra mile. And in the nomination for this category, which was extensive, I'd like to raise a few key points. So firstly, and I quote, "The supervisor's intellectual generosity helped me to fit my research with the bigger picture that researchers currently hold or developing about the shape of the discipline, triggering to recognize what is novel and interesting in my research and relating to the wider debates the scholars are having in the field." Secondly, the supervisor was clearly tough, and sometimes we forget that actually this is an important part of the supervisor relationship. And the nominee described this in quite some detail. And I quote, "The supervisor gave a glimpse of developing a thick skin." Adam and I were talking about this a little earlier. "To handle the invariable barrage of constructive criticism that nurtured my confidence to defend my views by means of a scientific stance. Reflecting on the 3 years of my PhD journey, I can confidently state that it has enabled me not to shrink at the mere hint of criticism of my work and resolve issues as I see fit. critical comments helping to translate thoughts, rewriting, and reworking the material. And thirdly, the nominee describes how the supervisor has, and again I quote, brilliant research knowledge, technical expertise, research management, and interpersonal skills. The supervisor was kind, generous, and a true career mentor. During the 3 years of my PhD, I never have had issues with regard to supervisor meetings, and the supervisor was contactable at all times, in person or electronically. The timely feedback and the emotional intelligence that can tolerate my academic limitations is praiseworthy. It is with great pleasure, therefore, I can announce the winner of the Research Supervisor of the Year Award for 2019 as Professor in Marketing at the Newcastle University Business School, Professor Matthew Gorton.
Yeah, I didn't recognize any of those words about me, I'm afraid to say. And all these things about tough words, it probably put off anyone ever being supervised by me in the future. So thank you very much. I think the only thing I'd say is, a PhD is a huge commitment. It's 3 or 4 years of somebody's life, it's their future career. And I always feel that that is a huge responsibility for a PhD supervisor. And I had a very good PhD supervisor who was very tough, but always looked at my best interests long term. And I've tried to carry that on. Thank you.
Congratulations, Matthew. I'm just going to establish a new house rule for the evening. If anyone's come on stage, feel free to play with the mic if you want, just like that and like that. Okay then, so our next award is for the Professional Services Staff Member of the Year. I'll invite to the stage John Hogan and Sophie McDermott.
So thanks so much, Ron. Sophie and I haven't rehearsed this, but we have agreed a strict demarcation of duties. One of us will do all the hard work, and the other one will just stand there looking glamorous.
Thank you for that introduction. Hi, I'm Sophie McDermott. I'm the current Activities Officer here at Newcastle University Students' Union, and this is John Hogan, Registrar at Newcastle University, and thus responsible for a full range of the university's support services. So throughout the year, I've had the pleasure of working with the university support services on all sorts of projects. This can range from representing students on various different committees, making sure that mental health remains a priority from students on every course, other school committees to ensure student mobility remains an option, particularly in this difficult political climate, or even ensuring that IT services run smoothly at peak times during dissertation writing. By working in partnership with staff this year, we've achieved so much more than we ever could have alone for our students. And often, many of the best ideas wouldn't be possible without their enthusiasm and support for the students. It's therefore important that we do recognise the outstanding work that these services undertake for the students, whether this has been in their school or department. So this award recognises a non-academic member of staff who has made an outstanding contribution to supporting the learning experience of our students. This may have been in the form of helping with the administration of the course, facilitating access to learning resources, or developing a positive academic environment between students and staff in their school. So the nominees are Ms. Magalma Ramasamy from NUMED, Mr. Sean Mallon from the School of Architecture, Planning and Landscape, our very own Ms. Jo Day from the Students' Union. And Mrs. Angela Mattison from the Institute of Health and Society.
So, to quote selectively from a very impressive and long nomination, this individual is in charge of the studios, teaching spaces, health and safety, overseeing the workshops and technical equipment and estates issues within my school. Every time I'm in the studio and something goes wrong, the first thing someone says is, "Get this person." Incidentally, the Vice-Chancellor says something similar whenever something goes wrong, but not always in a positive sense about me, but that's, we will pass over that. The thing about studying on my degree is that the majority of time of our students is spent in the studio, and it's important that these spaces are safe, flexible, spacious, and workable. This person is always quick in response to the problems, and problems are quickly solved. I can say with certainty that all the technicians, including this person, are easily approachable. In my first year, I remember not knowing how to use particular equipment, and everyone seemed so busy that I couldn't feel like I could approach them. But then, one day, the technicians helped me directly, and this was fantastic. I grew in confidence, and I was able to use sophisticated equipment, which I used in all sorts of professional walks of life. Lastly, I have to mention, at the end of the year, the degree show is run by the students to showcase our work to professionals, peers, and friends. Although I say run by students, without the help of the technical staff, the event would not be possible, and yet often they go unrecognized. The individual I have nominated embodies the reliability, competence, organization, and ethics of a professional. The winner is Sean Mullen, School of Architecture, Planning, and Landscape.
This feels quite surreal to be getting an award for doing something which is so enjoyable. Our work is part of a team of 3, so I must sort of mention my colleagues, Nathan and Richard. And as well as thanking my colleagues, just thank the wonderful students of APL. It's just a pleasure to help. Thank you.
Okay, our next award is the Outstanding Contribution to Pastoral Support. I'll welcome to the stage Leslie Braden and our postgraduate officer for 2019-2020, and the first one at that, Karina Sorrells.
So, hi all, my name is Karina Sorrells. I am the incoming postgraduate officer, and with me is the current academic registrar, Leslie Braden. Throughout my time at Newcastle, I've had the privilege to be not only a course rep, but also a school rep, providing me with the opportunity to work alongside other students and staff to provide consistent improvement between all, both inside and outside of the classroom. Through these positions, I have seen how the Newcastle staff members go beyond their initial role and position to truly help improve the student life in all aspects. I would like to thank, or rather appreciate, all staff members for your dedication, inspiration, passion for your work. So thank you. It is with this, I have the great honor to be presenting the Outstanding Contribution to Pastoral Support Award, which recognizes members of staff who have provided outstanding pastoral support to students. These staff members have made an exceptional effort to ensure the personal well-being of students at the university. And the nominees are Dr. Allison Copland, School of Geography, Politics, and Sociology. Dr. Simon Corkin, School of History, Classics, and Archaeology. Dr. Lindsay Ferry, School of Biomedical Sciences. Professor Elaine McCoyle, Institute of Health and Society.
Take the liberty of adjusting it when you have a chance. Thank you, Karina, and good evening, everyone. It's a real pleasure and privilege for me to be able to present this award for contribution to pastoral support. I think we all know that some members of staff have a really profound and sometimes even a life-changing impact on their students. And they're often the unsung heroes and heroines as well. But their dedication to providing pastoral support can make the difference between an experience that is just okay and one that is fantastic and fulfilling. Our winner tonight is described in glowing terms by the student who nominated that person, and I've been given permission to read out the nomination in its entirety. Since I returned to my studies in September, this person has emailed me almost weekly, sometimes multiple times a week, to check up on how I'm coping and arrange for me to see them to talk about how I'm feeling. They've attended and helped arrange meetings with me, helped me write emails, walked with me to lectures that I would otherwise have been too nervous to attend, picked up any work feedback that I've been too worried about to collect, and more. They've also made themselves so familiar with my anxieties that they knew my dissertation project allocation was not right for me, and with my approval, subsequently arranged for it to be changed to something that I felt less anxious about. They have constantly encouraged me, made me feel comfortable to say when I am struggling, and always made time to see me, no matter how busy they are. Before starting uni again, I felt hopeless, and I didn't think I was capable of completing my degree. But with their continuous support and care, I finally feel motivated and determined not to let my conditions stop me from achieving what I want. Their attentiveness to these conditions and the level of care they provide is unparalleled. What a nomination. And I'm delighted to announce that the winner of the contribution to outstanding pastoral support is Dr. Lindsay Ferry.
I don't think I trust myself to hold this lovely glass teapot without dropping it and getting a bit emotional. Sorry, I am going to have to do that, Leslie. What an amazing prize. I'm celebrating 10 years at Newcastle University this year, and to be given this for what I see as the absolute perk of my job is amazing. I work with some wonderful, eclectic, amazing students, and I am a better academic, I am a better teacher, and I'm a better person because of that interaction. So this really does mean an awful lot to me, so thank you very much.
Congratulations, Lindsay. And now, moving on to our outstanding contribution to student employability, I invite to the stage Naomi Usman-Watts and Melanie Ann.
Hi everyone. So like Johnny just said, I'm Melanie Ann and I'm presenting this for Naomi Usman-Watts today. Oh, sorry. I've been working at NUSU now for a year along with my degree in education. I'm studying a master's, and really this award is kind of everything that I would have needed as I was going through my degree. I'm honored to be one of the student presenters tonight. And I just wanted to say that throughout this year that I've been involved in multiple projects. However, this one's close to my heart. I'm a qualified teacher, and really I can only hope to be as positively influential as this person tonight. Working in partnership with staff throughout the year has allowed me to really reflect on the experiences that us students have at Newcastle, and also make sure that we show appreciation and how grateful we are for anybody that works with us. Tonight, I'm presenting the award for outstanding contribution to outstanding contribution to student employability. This reward recognizes anybody, member of staff or support, who's made an exceptional effort to make sure that the students enhance their employability and achieve their career goals. The following nominees are Mrs. Helen Adamson from the School of Natural and Environmental Sciences, Dr. Richard McQuaid from the School of Pharmacy, Dr. Chris O'Malley from the School of Engineering, and last but not least, Dr. Helen St. Clair Thompson from the School of Psychology.
I might move this actually. Thank you, Melanie. It's a real honor to be invited tonight. It's a very glamorous event, so thank you, Johnny. And particularly to be presenting this award, which is obviously quite close to my heart, and not least because I have had the opportunity to witness firsthand the impact that this person has had on the students they work with, helping them grow into confident, knowledgeable, creative graduates that employers are fighting for, everything a career service hopes for. The project they've set up is interesting, innovative, and actually I think quite unique, giving the students involved a real advantage in the competitive world of work. I'll try and do this nomination justice without giving too much away too soon. The nomination stated, this person goes way above and beyond what is expected, taking time to support students in developing a range of skills outside their core subject. Creativity, web design and development, and presentation skills were just a few of the ones highlighted in the nomination. They also play a huge part in helping students build their networks, introducing them to and helping them work with a number of companies. I'm afraid the next bit might just give it away a little bit. They are a fantastic lecturer, supervisor, and project lead, which the university should be proud of. They have helped me develop as a well-rounded person, and employers have made reference to how impressed they were with Stew Brew. I wouldn't have made the impression I did without the dedication and support of this person. Please give a huge round of applause to the winner of the Outstanding Contribution to Student Employability Award, Dr. Chris O'Malley.
Got the light in the eyes a little bit. Thanks, everyone. I don't know what to say here. This project's been it's been a big deal over the last 5 years. So this is really nice. So thank you. I think that's all I can do.
Okay, big congrats there, Chris. Now, moving on to the outstanding contribution to equality, diversity, and inclusivity. I'll welcome to the stage Professor Judith Rankin and a man that I asked to keep his speech short, but we'll see how he does, Jack Green.
What can I say, Johnny? I didn't do a degree in English, so I've got to make up for it now. Hello, I'm Jack Green, the Welfare and Equality Officer at Students' Union, and it's an absolute honour tonight to be presenting with Judith Rankin, the Dean of Equality, Diversity and Inclusion at the university. I've had the pleasure this year to work very closely with Judith and many other colleagues at the university to address inequalities and broaden opportunities and representation within our university. We're very lucky to be at a university where the values of EDI are highly valued not only by our executive board, but within every faculty and service across the university. I've also had the pleasure to work with many passionate students who regularly overcome barriers on a daily basis. Many of these barriers are things that you and I might never notice due to our own privileged circumstances. That is why student voice is so vitally important, so that we can address concerns that students face whilst not necessarily sharing a lived experience. At the end of the day, it's our differences who make us who we are, and it's something to be celebrated. The award tonight recognises any member of staff who has made specific efforts to make sure that all students, regardless of protected characteristics, are given equal opportunities to succeed. This may take the form of diversifying module content so that it's more representative of student body, including a wider range of skills than more traditional approaches, researching the attainment gaps within their schools or institution and taking specific measures to tackle them, or simply nurturing a welcoming and encouraging environment. The shortlist candidates for outstanding contribution to equality, diversity and inclusion are Dr. Colin Brown from the Institute of Cell and Molecular Biosciences, sorry Colin, I butchered that one a little bit. Dr. Gerald Corsane from the School of Art and Cultures, Dr. Philip Garrett from the School of History, Classics and Archaeology, and Dr. Patrick Rosencrantz from the School of Psychology.
Thank you very much, Jack. I'd just also like to thank the organisers. Johnny, well done. It's a great night. This is only the second year that this category has been included in the awards, so it's a great pleasure to be presenting it for the second time. And I'd also like to take the opportunity to thank Jack Green, who has been a tremendous support to me and to the rest of the EDI team in his year as sabbatical officer, and also to say a big hello to Zara, and I'm really looking forward to working with you in the next year. Okay, supporting those that find it hard to study, to ensure that they do have an equal opportunity to participate in their studies and to the best of their abilities must be something that we all want to strive to achieve. The winner of this award has done this through a number of actions. By creating a well-organized module handbook, which is easy to follow and clearly lays out the module aims and objectives, having all the necessary resources available online, creating a series of easy-to-follow podcasts, which has made understanding of class content easier. These adjustments have been described by the nominator as outstanding. I quote, "The fact that the adjustments were pre-planned, having all the sources online, shows how dedicated they are in ensuring that everyone has the right opportunity to succeed in their studies at Newcastle University." The winner has also demonstrated a wide range of understanding of the needs of students that might need extra support, and it is clear that they have taken feedback from previous years and adapted their module to reflect the abilities and needs of a range of students on their course. And importantly, all of this has been done with enthusiasm, that the students are spurred on to do well in their course and to enjoy the subject area. I think we can all understand why this person has won. So the award for the Outstanding Contribution to Equality, Diversity and Inclusion 2019 goes to Dr. Philip Garrett.
Amy, I was told that we would not have to say anything. So, on the basis of that, all I can really say is that I have done nothing, or at least nothing which many colleagues are not also doing, which is just trying to make sure that there is a fair and level playing field for all of our students, but also all students feel equally welcome and equally represented in our lectures and seminars. And I am therefore very grateful to receive this teapot. But also I recognize very much that this is something which I'm sure many of you are doing as well, and hopefully therefore we will also continue to be recognized by our students for having done so.
Now is the time for the Outstanding Contribution to Teaching categories. The first category up is our Outstanding Contribution to Teachers for our global campuses. And we've got a special video here for you tonight from the CEO of the New Mid campus, Professor Chris Baldwin, and one of our fantastic student reps who played a critical role in the shortlisting process, Faisal Khan. I'll have to warn you though, it may sound a bit like it was sent for a teapot, so the sound quality might not sound that good. Before we play the video though, I'm going to read out the nominees. Dr. Kok Kyong Tan, Dr. Vasantha Subramaniam, Dr. Valiamai Valiapan, and that's it, there's only 3 for this one. Let's roll the video.
The winner is Dr. Vasantha Subramaniam. So we actually haven't got a volunteer award today, but I'd like to pass this award over for the time being to make up to you, Vasantha. Thank you so much. It's a real honor to hold in my hand, and I really want to thank the entire UMed team who made this happen, especially to all my students. I didn't know that they enjoyed my teaching so much. And beyond that, I really want to thank my appreciation to all my friends, my colleagues, my parents, my husband, and my children. Thank you all so much.
It's going to take a lot of bubble wrap to get that teapot shipped over. Next up is the Outstanding Contribution to Teaching for our Faculty of Medical Sciences. So we'll now invite to the stage Dr. Ruth Valentine and James Prowse.
Hi, my name's James. I'm one of the school reps for the School of Medical Education, and tonight I'm here with Dr. Ruth Valentine, the Acting Dean for Undergraduate Studies for the Faculty of Medical Sciences. The award for Outstanding Contribution to Teaching for FMS recognises academic staff whose teaching has excelled across all areas. Their outstanding teaching encourages a passion for the subject, and without their love for the subject shining through, it becomes so much harder to engage students actively with learning. Everyone who's ever been a student will know that if you're not engaged in your teaching, the subject seems that much harder, and if you are engaged, it's so much simpler. It's more enjoyable to study, as I'm sure we all know. Without further ado, the nominees are Dr. Andrew Chater from the School of Medical Education, Dr. Neil Keegan from the Institute of Cellular Medicine, and Dr. Andrea Clark from the School of Medical Education.
Okay, thank you, James. So I'm absolutely delighted to be here tonight to present the Outstanding Contribution to Teaching Award for the Faculty of Medical Sciences. I've got quite a large nomination here, so I'm trying to pick out a few quotes really that doesn't give it away in the kind of first sentence. So the nominee has been incredible at breaking down such a difficult area of study. They've made it clear and concise and continually revisit the more challenging areas to consolidate our understanding before moving on to the next related topic. They teach with enthusiasm and candour, no nonsense, but are very willing to help those who are interested in the subject and are willing to work hard. When it comes to the paper assessment, a completely new form of writing for everybody, they have broken down the assignment into manageable chunks, explained what is needed, and what the paper analysis consists of. Their lectures are always interesting, and they go above and beyond for their students in such a way that we aren't spoon-fed, but we're challenged to go further and enjoy the subject as much as possible. I'm really pleased to be presenting this award for the Outstanding Contribution to Teaching, but I'm doubly pleased that I'm presenting it to one of my research colleagues from the Institute of Cell and Molecular Biosciences for their contribution to biomedical sciences teacher. So the winner is Dr. Neil Keegan. Now, Neil can't be here tonight, I'm afraid, so we have the director of the Institute of Cellular Medicine, Andrew Meller, who's going to take the award on his behalf. I don't know whether you want to say anything on his behalf.
I'm delighted to be here at 24 hours notice to say a few words on Neil's behalf. I'm sure you will understand he will be delighted. I saw the email today when I was looking at the background to this that he was absolutely delighted just to be shortlisted, so he's going to be doubly delighted to receive this wonderful teapot because it symbolises, of course, what we're here for tonight, that students appreciate what staff do so well. Thank you.
Now moving on to the third of our 4 teaching categories, it's the Outstanding Contribution to Teaching in the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences. I'll invite to the stage Dr. Ruth Graham and Amy Ingle.
Hi everyone, my name's Amy Ingle. This is the last of my 2 years as school rep for the School of Architecture, Planning and Landscape. I've been involved in student representation since my first year when I was a course rep. And during that time I've seen kind of the impact that student-staff partnership can really make in a university environment, which is why I'm so honoured to be a part of this celebration, which recognises the fantastic work of the university staff that make this such a brilliant institution to study at. I'm joined this evening by Ruth Graham, Dean of Undergraduate Studies in Haas, who will be joint presenting the award for outstanding contribution to teaching in the faculty with me tonight. So this award recognises members of academic staff whose teaching excels in teaching excels in all areas, and the outstanding teaching demonstrated by the winner of this award encourages a passion for the subject and engages students actively in learning. The nominees are as follows. We've got Mr. Samuel Anaya Guzman. We've got Dr. Helen Terrell. And Dr. Darius Gabichuk. So I'll now hand over to Ruth, who will announce the winner for this award.
Thank you, Amy. So, I'm the Dean of Undergraduate Studies in HAS. It's a big faculty. I see a lot of stuff, okay? I see a lot of good stuff. There's an awful lot of wonderful practice that happens in the faculty. Those are the good days. I see some not quite so good stuff. They're challenging days. But you know, you get used, you roll with the punches, you know, not much touches this cold, desiccated, concrete heart. Quite by surprise, I found myself just, you know, casually reading through the quotes again about this nomination, and you know, I have to say, not known as one of the world's criers, but there were tears. There were tears, which is, I say, not something that I associate with work. So, what was it that brought this cold, desiccated heart to the point of nearly crying? I'll read you a few quotes. So, first, this nominating person said, "I have never experienced a teacher who brings such passion into a room, and it really shows by the class's effort and attendance. This has been beneficial to me as it shows that I am being taught by a teacher who genuinely cares about teaching. And that commitment definitely makes it easier and more enticing to attend the seminars and makes the stress of university worth it." A lovely, lovely sentiment. But, you know, okay, that didn't make me cry. It was good, fantastic, wonderful practice, didn't make me cry. Then I had in terms of their passion extends further, asking students for feedback, asking how they can improve so that the students can benefit to the maximum level. They try to use this feedback to personalise the different seminar groups. So, for example, I told them it would be better to spend a bit more time on a particular activity, she says, anonymising it so that it's not obvious who it is. And I feel valued as, you know, they've incorporated that and into the seminar the following week, so that student clearly felt listened to. Again, wonderful, wonderful practice, didn't make me cry. But then I got to this bit where it said, "I thoroughly enjoy attending my seminars, and due to the enthusiasm of the teacher, I feel encouraged to complete my seminar work to my full ability, as I am made to feel as though my hard work is worthwhile, and I feel valued as an individual in their class." And I have to say, that was the bit at which I was just like going, oh my God. You know, it just really struck a chord that what you ever really want as an educator is to make people feel like they matter. We all need to feel like we matter. And this teacher is clearly having such a massive impact on their, not only that, I have to say, not only their students there, because there is another quote, and I'll tell you what the catchphrase is, but this nominating student says, "They say something that keeps the class motivated and focused, and even when it's something that my housemate now uses when they're revising to stay focused on their work after I told her about the infamous quote." So I've left the infamous quote until last because those who know this person will probably know it. And the quote is, and I must get this right, "Where your focus goes, energy flows." And I think that is going to become my mantra. So I'm absolutely delighted to announce the winner of this year's prize for contribution to teaching in HAS. And the prize goes to Samuel Anaya Guzman.
I'm just so grateful and so touched to the students. Thank you very much. It means a lot to me. Thank you.
Well done, Samuel. And now for our final outstanding contribution. Oh no. Oh. Oh, that breaks my heart. Anyway, we'll move on. We'll get that sorted, it's fine. Final outstanding contribution to teaching category for the Faculty of Science, Agriculture and Engineering. I'll invite to the stage Dr. Sarah Marsham and Jasmine Berry.
I'm Jasmine Berry. I'm the school rep for Maths, Stats and Physics from the SAGE faculty, and I'm presenting today with Dr. Sarah Marsham, who's the Associate Dean for the undergraduate programmes in SAGE. My role involves working in partnership with staff and students to share opinions on improving both student and staff experience here. It is very rewarding seeing changes being made, but it's also really important for us to acknowledge the brilliant things that are already happening here at the university. One really nice aspect of the job was helping shortlist for these awards and reading all the amazing experiences people have had with a member of staff or team. It is an honour for me to help present the Outstanding Contribution of Teaching Award for my faculty. This award recognises members of academic staff whose teaching excels in all areas. Their outstanding teaching encourages a passion for the subject and engages students actively in learning. So the shortlisted nominees for this award are Dr. Evgenios Kakariadis, Dr. Daniel Nesbitt, and Dr. Clive Emery. I'll now hand over to Sarah, who will read some quotes from the winning nomination.
Thank you, Jasmine. I'm not really sure how we can follow that. Thanks, Haas. As always, it's an absolute pleasure to be here. I actually am here on behalf of Stuart Edwards, who is our Dean of Top Programmes. So I'd just like to thank Stuart for the opportunity to join you again this evening, because it is always a highlight of our year. Reading the nomination for the winner of this category, the real theme that came out was their enthusiasm, not only for their subject, but also for their students. So just to provide a few quotes from the nominee, returning to study after a year out was always going to be difficult, and it definitely wasn't made easier when an exam I set in the first semester was so hard. Sorry. After achieving lower than expected marks that covered a topic that I really loved, I was very nervous about going into the second semester. This student went into that second semester questioning their love for the topic and was skeptical as to whether or not they should actually take that next module. They did go along, and on entering the first lecture, they were far from optimistic. They actually had other modules in mind that they thought they would move on to, should that module be as they feared. However, the lecture was completely different to what they'd expected, and the love of that subject was regained within the first hour of teaching. The enthusiasm from the lecturer came across so vividly that they immediately went home and engaged in the formative coursework. They were pleasantly surprised to find that it wasn't a first lecture fluke, and 2 weeks later, that enthusiasm was still there. They even completed the first assignment on the day it was announced, which they'd never done before. They say this is only possible due to the clear and strategic teaching that led straight into that assignment. The enthusiasm from the winner has clearly transferred onto the student. They look forward to lectures, they stay focused. The winner doesn't just teach their topic, they display it, which is rare in this discipline area. Engagement is clearly a focus of their teaching. They demonstrate through practical problems, through practical demonstrations, through the use of videos. And this is going to give it away before I announce it, but they even have their own YouTube channel so that students can look at extra problems that they haven't had time to cover in lecture. So it is my absolute pleasure to announce that the recipient of the award for outstanding contribution to teaching in the SAGE faculty is Dr. Clive Emery from the School of Maths, Stats and Physics.
Thank you very much. I have no idea what to say, except I'm very honoured to receive this award. We've heard some amazing stories about what the lecturers are doing here at Newcastle University, so I will treasure this reward, and in particular, I won't drop it as soon as I get back to my table. Thank you very much.
Just want to get confirmation that it is making its safe way back to the table. And the package has arrived. Well done. Thanks. So now to introduce our brand new award for this year, the Student Choice Award. I'll invite to the stage Dr. Joe Barton and Maggie Elstob.
Thank you, Johnny. My name is Joe Barton. I'm the Representation and Research Coordinator at the Students' Union, and I'm very honoured to be presenting the Student Choice Award alongside Maggie Elstob, and NUSU's AU officer for this year. One of the privileges of my role is being able to witness students and staff from across our campus working together in partnership. And I know that partnership in reality isn't always something that's easy to maintain. It's certainly not as glamorous all the time as it is tonight. But when it's effective, the outcomes of that extend far beyond problem solving or improving courses. That's because whether it takes place on the top floor of Kingsgate or in a humble seminar room, effective student-staff partnership is about more than an enhancement exercise. When it really works, it gives a meaningful shape to very abstract values like reciprocity, collaboration, citizenship, things that we all value, but perhaps we don't always take the time to affirm. Of course, that's precisely what tonight is all about. In coordinating and shortlisting the T's over the last 3 years, we've come to appreciate that not all the ways in which staff inspire students are necessarily captured by the existing T's categories. So, to ensure that no staff member misses out on the opportunity for recognition, this year we've given students the opportunity of submitting a T's nomination under an award title of their choosing. The nominations we received this year attest to the varied ways in which students appreciate staff here at Newcastle. To give you a flavour, nominations this year include a head of school, nominated for taking a lead on culture change in their academic unit, a former visiting professor, nominated for the inspirational coaching they've provided, and a Central University steering group for their collective efforts to expand the provision of recap across campus. Because each nomination to this category is so different, however, we haven't produced a shortlist for this category, and instead only just picked a single winner. And with that in mind, I will pass over to Maggie to announce who that is.
Yeah, let's be realistic. Thanks, Joe. I just want to, I'm going to go on to explain what this person's written in their nomination, but it definitely echoes what Suzanne mentioned earlier, that teaching is so much more important with both aspects of the actual academic experience, but also that care that needs to be provided for our students. And it's really important to us from the Students' Union that academics are providing that, and we are very grateful for it. And that's definitely echoed in this nomination. So I'll read it out, not in its entirety, because we might be here a while. I feel very blessed to have them as our programme director.
This is because they have organised a very well-designed programme, but also because of their care towards their students. Without their continued care and support, I believe that I would not have gained such a positive learning experience during my research journey at this university. Most importantly, for all these years, I found that students on this programme have a great sense of belonging. They are not only concerned with our academic progress, but they also care about their students. This can be seen from the activities, modules, meetings, and gatherings that they organised. This is very important, and sometimes, as a research student, I found, including myself, I did need to have some people that research a similar field to what I do. Despite their heavy workload, they would be willing to spend much of their valuable time listening and talking to me. I personally feel very grateful to them, as if it was not for them, I think that I wouldn't have been able to go so far in my research endeavour. I know that it's not only for me, but for many students that also praise them for their caring and supportive attitude. They always perform above and beyond their required duties. They are a very good role model in the higher education field that people should learn from. So the winner of the Student Choice Award, is it up? We got one? Okay. Is Dr. Pamela Woolner.
Something. I only came because I didn't think I was going to win. I was I'm really, really pleased, and I think this probably was a comment from one of our doctoral students in the School of Education, Communication and Language Sciences, where we have a lot of non-traditional doctoral students, people studying part-time who are also professionals in education and speech and language, and I think, yeah, they do have a long journey. I think the comment about the journey was really important. So, yeah, if we're doing the right thing in Eccles, that's really good. Thank you.
Well done there, Pamela, and congrats on winning the very first Student Choice Award. Now, you might, if you're looking at your booklet, think that that brings you to the end of our awards for this evening. You'd be wrong. Because tonight we have one final, very special award to present. I'd like to invite to the stage Raf Marioni and Simon Gerry, the President and the Chief Executive of NUSU, to the stage.
Thank you very much, Johnny. Hope everyone's been having a fantastic evening, and well done to all nominees and winners, of course. My name's Raf Marioni. I've been the president of Newcastle University Students' Union this year, and this is Simon Gerry, our chief executive, who will be assisting me in making this very special one-off presentation this evening. Throughout this year, I have had the pleasure, like so many SABs before me, of working very closely with a very special individual who has been impacting in one way or another the lives of students at this university for over 32 years. Unlike all the other awards, I'm not going to try and disguise who it is, because I want the individual concerned and everyone here tonight to hear the words and messages we have for them. I'm of course talking about Leslie Braden, who is due to who is due to retire in July of this year.
Okay, to keep this as short as we can, Leslie joined the university in 1987 and has held a number of roles over the years, including direct responsibility for student recruitment and marketing, before becoming academic registrar and director of student services in 2013. There would, of course, be far too many things to mention if we tried to cover all of the work and the projects that Leslie has been involved in. So I'm just going to pick out a couple that we feel are worthy of mention and what we think has had the greatest impact on some of our students. Firstly, under Leslie's leadership, the Partners Scheme came into being over 20 years ago now. Partners in this case being Newcastle University's flagship award-winning scheme for widening participation in higher education. This has clearly been of immense benefit to many, many students over the years, and we are particularly grateful for Leslie's very supportive and helpful attitude when we introduced our own widening participation bursary scheme in the Student Union to help students, once they got to university, take part in clubs and societies and other extracurricular activity. More recently, and when I say recent, I mean the last 5 to 6 years, which is the period that Leslie has really been working very closely with us and our sabbatical officers. Leslie has chaired the Partnership Operations Group, which effectively manages the interface and relationship with the Student Union. As you can probably imagine, this can be a bit of a tricky task at times, and is not without a touch of healthy friction. Under what I describe as a very calming leadership style, Leslie has been very supportive throughout, and we have worked on a number of projects together, including the refurbishment and reallocation of space in the Hadrian building, which provided much needed additional social learning space for our students, increased space and meeting rooms for our clubs and societies, both again in the Hadrian building and across the campus, and more recently the Changing Culture Initiative, which I know she personally championed. From a personal perspective, I would just like to thank Leslie for her support, advice, guidance, and very importantly, sense of humour over the last 6 to 7 years, and just to say that she will be sorely missed. I'm now going to hand you back to Raf, who is going to say a few words himself before leading on some personal messages that have been fed to us by the sabbatical officers.
Thank you, Simon. Now, I've obviously known and worked with Leslie for a lot shorter time. Before I took up the role as president, I only knew of Leslie as the email lady. And apart from the important information that went out to all students, questions arose of who exactly Leslie was. What were the headquarters where she conjured up her emails to the baying masses? And surely Leslie's job wasn't solely to send out well-crafted correspondence to students. And as it turns out, of course it wasn't. Leslie's role is about the student journey, from pre-application and outreach to congregations on the very last day of the student cycle. It's well-being, it's careers, employability, progress in exams, teaching and learning quality. In short, the emails didn't even scratch the surface of the effort she has put in to ensure that for students, Newcastle University remains a world-class, supportive and enjoyable experience. She's impacted and worked with a lot of sabbatical officers during her time, and so we thought it would be appropriate to read out some of the messages they have sent to you, and there are quite a few which I think shows what the impact she's had on them.
So here we go. Happy retirement, Leslie. You always had time and sound advice for us, and I'll always be grateful for your help on courier stories, like the mental health investigation we did. We wouldn't have been able to do this without you, so thanks for everything, and enjoy your retirement. Tom Nicholson, editor of the Courier, 2014.
Leslie, your passion and enthusiasm for ensuring students had the best possible time while at Newcastle was evident. Students can be very grateful for all your work, helping to combine studying with extracurricular activities. Your support to me on projects and ideas regarding this was invaluable. All the very best in your retirement. Enjoy. Angus Taylor, AU Officer 2015.
Leslie, I've had the pleasure of working with you both in my role as a sabbatical officer for NUSU and thereafter under your direction in our work on the Changing the Culture agenda. When I first worked with you as a sabbatical officer, I was particularly grateful that I could approach you if I had any queries, knowing that you would be willing to help in any way you could. We worked on a number of projects together, and it was clear that you always had the care and consideration for both the student and staff welfare at heart. I want to personally thank you for the opportunities that you have made available for me and for the time and effort that you devote to maintaining and enhancing university-student relations. You will be missed by many. I wish you well. Best wishes, Rachel Kitching, Welfare and Equality Officer 2016.
Dear Leslie, congratulations on your well-deserved retirement, and thank you for your tireless effort and work you put into your time at Newcastle. You were a delight to work alongside during my time as education officer, and I will treasure all of the chats we had together, both professional and casual. The university, and indeed working as a SAB, will not be the same without you around. but I'm sure your legacy of remaining cool, calm, and collected, no matter the subject matter being dealt with, will continue with your successor. Nevertheless, the gladiatorial arena, that is AltSec, will never be the same. All the best for your retirement. Enjoy it. Best wishes, Chris Duddy, Education Officer 2016.
It's just a couple more. Leslie, on behalf of the students of Newcastle University, thank you for your support and particularly your commitment to the work on the Changing the Culture. Thank you also for being so welcoming to the new sabbatical officers each year. You did really make us feel very welcomed and very valued. It's such a unique position for each one of us to be elected, and having the opportunity to work with university colleagues such as yourself helps mould us into valuable employees with a range of skills and experiences that we can transfer into our future careers. I wish you a very happy retirement and a relaxing one. Sarah Craggs, Welfare Officer 2070.
Now, I won't try and do an impression of this one, but you might be able to tell because it's a bit like a political statement. Dear Leslie, thank you for your service for hundreds of thousands of Newcastle University students over the years. Your sensitive, pragmatic, and friendly approach has guided so many students through challenging external situations and has cemented Newcastle University as an exceptionally run, world-class institution. I wish you an extremely happy and enjoyable retirement. Kind regards, Ronnie Reed, President 2017.
Dear Leslie, thank you for your care and love for the students of Newcastle University. You have nurtured us like your own and have guided us through many challenging situations. You have also supported so many positive changes that have had a hugely tangible difference for our students. On a personal level, this year seeing your kind and friendly face across the meeting table has given me the confidence to speak up about the things I'm passionate about at the university, and working with you has always been a pleasure. I wish you the most joyful retirement. Best wishes, Sophie McDermott, Activities Officer 2018.
And finally, Leslie, thank you for your forward-thinking and proactive approach to the challenges we have faced this year. I've learned so much from you, and it is clear that students are at the heart of all the work you do. Congratulations on many years of hard work, and I hope you enjoy your retirement. Maggie Elstob, AU Officer 2018. Now, from a personal note, I just want to say that I echo everything that the SABs have said over the years. Leslie's been an absolute pleasure to work with. She's a role model to staff and someone who puts care and pride into the university. The student experience is clearly at the heart of everything she does, and I think that universities up and down the country could really use a Leslie. Everyone at NUSU, past and present, wishes you the most deserved and peaceful retirement. And it's our pleasure, in recognition of all the help and support that you have given to the sabbatical officers over the years and students, and indeed the immeasurable contribution you have made to the lives of those students, to present you with honorary life membership of the Students' Union and a small gift as a token of your appreciation. Please, can we give it up?
After that, it's been suggested that I need to say something. Thank you so much. This is totally unexpected and completely overwhelming. And I can only think of three things to say, one of which is thank you, and it's been a huge pleasure and a privilege. The second thing is I've hardly sent any emails to the students. Honestly. And I've forgotten what the third thing was now. But it really has been a pleasure, and thank you so much. And I'm not sure I want to retire anymore. I think I'll stay here. Thank you very much indeed.
I just want to invite to the stage all our sabbatical officers for this year to get a photograph with Leslie. we are. Yeah, once again, thank you very much, Leslie, for all your support across the years. I've got to say, when I was a student getting those emails, I actually thought it was Leslie who ran the whole place. Now we come to the end of the evening, and there's a few words that I'd like to say to close the ceremony. Higher education is never without its challenges, and it's been a fascinating experience this year to see how an institution like Newcastle University responds to national policy decisions. We've got initiatives like the subject level TEF and Augur review still looming, although Augur does seem to have quietened down lately. I think Parliament might be up to something a bit busier. Who knows? But overall, this role has made me highly confident that whatever challenges present themselves, we have a highly capable staff and student body that can work together and stand up to the task. This evening marks the beginning of the end of my 10 years as Education Officer, and although it's with a heavy heart that I'll be handing over the Education Officer mantle, I'll be doing so, placing it in the very capable hands of Pablo, who has done an absolutely outstanding job as a school rep and part-time officer this year. So can we all just say a big congratulations to Pablo on his election. With that experience, you got quite the head start. But this year is not a usual one, as I'm actually handing over to not one, but two sabbatical officers. Karina has also served as an excellent school rep, and I'm sure she'll do a stellar job of shaping this role for future postgraduate officers to come. A big congrats to Karina. And not only that, but we're joined tonight by a new team of sabbatical officers who are taking over in July, and I know we're doing an absolutely fantastic job, so well done to the whole team. There's several people I'd like to thank for tonight. Firstly, Professor Suzanne Charlton, who has been vital to the success of these awards, and I'd like to thank her not only for her guidance with the Ts, but with the support she's given to NUSU education officers throughout the years. Thank you to Dr. Joe Barton and the student reps who helped with the shortlisting process, and each and every student who nominated. Thank you to George Watkins, whose leadership and the Your Voice team at NUSU has been critical of the successful operation of the Ts throughout the years. George couldn't be here tonight due to the recent birth of his daughter Alice, so a big thank you to George and the best of luck with his growing family. Thanks to my SAB team and the rest of NUSU who've made this a year I'll never forget, and of course to the events team who've pulled off this great evening for us tonight. And of course, a huge thank you to Kay Hatton and Susan Bannon. The ceremony truly couldn't have happened without them. Their organisation of the ceremony each year is impeccable, and I pity the poor education officer whoever runs the Ts without them. Although they made clear for me not to pull a trick like getting them up on stage this year, I couldn't write this closing speech without letting them know that there'll be flowers in a card waiting for them tomorrow, and ask everyone to offer them a round of applause. And finally, on a personal note, I arrived here at the university 5 years ago, living at home my first year because I wasn't sure if university was going to be right for me. Since then, I moved from a 3-year to a 4-year degree program that I didn't even think I wanted to do, joined a society or two, and eventually built the confidence to decide to run in the elections to become the 2018 to 2019 education officer. I truly never would have thought I'd have the confidence to stand up here tonight to present these awards. So I want to give my final thank you to the entire staff and student body of Newcastle University, because it's working together that we create this outstanding environment for students to develop and grow. Thank you. And that's it, you're all free. Just a reminder, if we could get all the winners up on stage to get a winner's photograph, that would be brilliant, and thank you for an excellent T Awards 2019.